In this example, I'd like to be able to control when reload happens with a session variable. So if I change my HTML on the left, let's just add an h2 tag and I'll type changed and press save. Notice the browser doesn't reload itself. But if I go over into the JavaScript console and set the session key is ready to true, the browser reloads itself and we see the changed h2 tag. I've opened up the JavaScript required to accomplish this use case, and you can see it's a bit crazy. First, I register a callback with the onMigrate function. And inside that callback, I have to check whether or not my application is ready by calling this isReady function. And I do that inside of a non-reactive callback. And then if it is ready, I return true and grab the data that I want to store away. Otherwise, I store away the retry function and return false. And then inside of a computation, check whether or not we're ready. And if there's a retry function, go ahead and call it. This is really difficult to remember and pretty error-prone. So I've written a custom API around the onMigrate function that I'd like to show you. The Meteor migration project creates a simple wrapper around the onMigrate functionality of Meteor. I haven't published it as a package yet, but I have put it on GitHub, so you're welcome to take a look at it and to fork it or use it in your projects directly. You can look that it's a pretty simple file. It just has a migration function or class, and then down below it has an onMigrate function that returns a new migration object. Let's take a look at how to use this. Since I haven't published this package yet to Atmosphere, you can just clone the project directly into your packages folder in your application. So I'll type get clone and then the address of the project, and then we'll clone that into the packages migration folder. And let's take a look at the folder and make sure that it's there. Now with the latest version of Meteor, you need to make sure to add this package, even though it's in my packages folder. So I'm going to use my get checkout of Meteor and add migration. Since I added the migration package from get checkout of Meteor, it had to update some packages that I was using. But once all of that's done, you can see that it adds the migration package, a simpler migration API. Let's take a look at how to use it. I've kept the old code here so we can look at it before and after, but let's use the new package. I can call the onMigrate method, and as a first parameter I can pass a name, but that's optional. And then I can call methods on the resulting object. So I'll call the ready method and pass a function. And inside of the ready method, I can return the results of calling session.equals isReady and checking if the isReady key is true, just like down here. So we'll get rid of this. And then I can call the data function. And the data function can return the same value as, or the same object that the getData function down here returns. So I'll get rid of the getData function. And that's all we have to do. Now, if we want to get the data back when the application reloads, I can assign this migration to a migration object. And let me make that a global variable so that we can play with it in the browser. Okay, we'll save this and we'll head over to the browser and make sure that it works. Okay, let's open up the HTML file again and make another change so that we can see the results in the browser. So I'll say it's been changed again. And you can see over in the browser now that it has not reloaded yet. And if we set session is ready to true, that should allow the migration to continue. Great, so now the browser reloads and we see the new change. Now going back to the JavaScript, if I want to get access to the data that we saved away, I can call migration saved data. And you can see that I get back the save data object. So this experimental API looks a lot simpler to me than the code that we had previously, and allows us to control the migration of our application, either from a package or from the app itself. If you'd like to get a better look at how the package works, you can take a look at its folder. You can see there's only one key file here called migration. So if you open that up, you can see a lot of the boilerplate that we had previously has been tucked away inside of this migration function. So I'm not quite ready to publish this as a package yet, and also there may be other packages out there that do something similar, but I would love for anyone to take this and run with it and turn it into a package if they'd like. But in the meantime, you can use this just by cloning it from the public GitHub repository that I showed you earlier.